Hello folks, this is Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing. I want to do a quick review. I've been playing with these things and I just kind of want to tell you my viewpoint on it. Clay bar kits. Meguiar's makes one for about $18.80. Mother's makes one for about the same price. Meguiar's will come with a little detail spray just like Mother's does. They both come with a microfiber towel. What's interesting is Meguiar's comes with a little box to be able to store your clay. That's nice. But Meguiar's only gives you about 160 grams of clay. Each one of these little bars is about 80 grams. The other thing that's interesting is that Mother's doesn't give you as many perks. They don't give you a little box to store your clay in, but they give you 200 grams of clay, and it's 100 grams per bar. Right off the bat, folks, I like the way Mother's is selling this. There's something very interesting to me. If you guys have ever held clay bars before on a professional level, they should be slightly sticky, slightly tacky. The Mother's clay bar feels much more like a professional grade clay bar than the Meguiar's. The Meguiar's feels very cheap, very imitation-like. It's not as sticky and tacky. In fact, there is no stickiness to it or tackiness to it at all. It just feels very cheap, very imitation-like. But I'll go ahead and use it on the panel and give you my opinion. But right off the bat, I like the way the Mother's bars feels. Not only do they give you more, it just feels like a traditional clay bar, which is kind of impressive to me in a retail kit. So I'm going to take the Mother's Instant Detail Spray and spray it on this little part of the panel to the right of the tape line, and I'll feel the surface. Yeah, it's slick. It feels like a detail spray. That's fine. That's sufficient. I'm going to take my clay bar and run it across the paint. Yes, this feels to me, I'm a huge fan of Clay Magic. This feels very much like Clay Magic to me. It feels like a very professional grade type of clay bar. And what's nice, you see when I pick my hand up, oops, I'm out of the camera view, sorry guys. You see when I pick my hand up, it sticks to my hand? That's because it's tacky. That's kind of important when you're claying a vehicle because you don't want to drop this on the ground. And the tackiness and the stickiness of the clay is important to be able to pull bonded contaminants off the paint in conjunction with a good lubricant. I don't think these detail sprays, either by Meguiar's or Mother's, is the greatest lubricant, but it's sufficient. But I love the way the Mother's clay bar feels across the paint. This feels very much like a professional grade clay bar to me. I give Mother's a nice 2 thumbs up in the moment. I'll go ahead. They also give you a dedicated microfiber towel. It's not the greatest quality, but it's cool. Mother's gives you it. I'll just go ahead and wipe up the surface, and I'll go ahead and touch the paint. Yep, feels great. I feel no bonded contaminants on the paint at all. Now, I'm going to do the same side with Meguiar's. And again, folks, man, Meguiar's, I don't know what you're thinking. This feels very cheap, very Chinese-like, very imitation clay bar-like. It feels like it's got like a chalky feel to it. There's no real stickiness to it at all. I can't get it to stick to my hand and come up, and that concerns me a little bit. Does it have the ability to pull bonded contaminants? Let me take a look. If I spray the dedicated detail spray it comes with, let me feel the surface of the paint. Okay, feels like a detail spray. There's enough there to be able to glide the clay bar across. And if I go across the paint, wow, this is interesting. And this goes to the fact of the way it feels. It feels very interesting to me, folks. Yes, it's pulling up bonded contaminants off the bar, but this thing is, boy, it's got no tackiness to it at all. It feels like, I feel like I'm holding a bar of chalk that's flexible. It's like really weird feeling. Yes, it pulled bonded contaminants off the paint, but it did feel like it struggled a little bit more than the Mother's side. This car hasn't been clayed in 10 years. And when I use this, I feel like I got to introduce more lubricant, and I feel like there's still stuff on the panel, although I'm kind of getting it off the panel now. And now I feel pretty confident I've gotten it all. And let me take the Meguiar's dedicated towel and wipe up, and then I'll feel the surface. The surface feels fine. It feels silky smooth. So does the Mother's. So what is my opinion between these two kits? Although Meguiar's gives you a nice handy little box to be able to store your clay, that's nice. They also give you less clay than the Mother's side. I'm not really impressed with Meguiar's in the moment because of the way that clay feels. It just feels cheap, feels very chalky in my hand. It felt like it had a hard time pulling the bonded contaminants off. Yes, it will eventually do it, but I felt like I had to stay on the panel too long. Versus the Mother's side, yes, they give you a dedicated microfiber towel. It's a little bit smaller than the Meguiar's. It's not going to make or break the world. The instant detailer responded very much as like Meguiar's detail spray. They're both sufficient. They both have the same amount of lubrication, but Mother's, in my opinion, plus they give you more clay. This feels like a professional grade clay bar to me. It's sticky, it's tacky, it's much more effective of being able to pull the bonded contaminants off the car faster, which translates into not being on the panel as long, which could eventually cause some type of micro marring. In my opinion, between the two kits, Meguiar's gets a thumbs down, Mother gets a thumbs up. If it was up to me, guys, and I needed to buy these clay kits on a retail level, I would go with Mother's before I would go with Meguiar's. My opinion. I hope I've explained it well enough and why I feel that way. I'm not impressed with Meguiar's in the moment with the clay kit. Awfully impressed with Mother's, but with this particular clay kit. They both cost the same. I would probably feel more comfortable recommending the Mother's. I appreciate it, guys. Love you so much. Hopefully that helps you guys out.